Child, peace be still. Girl. So I've heard the comments. I've heard the cries. I've seen it. There was a sister that had commented below, and she said, I need a little bit more encouragement. I've been waiting 3 years. 3 years. And I get a little movement, then I get sad because ain't nothing going. It ain't going on. Be encouraged, sister girl. Why are you, like, it's like the louder I get, the louder you get. I need to be over you because I just need to be over you. I know. Go play. So the number one thing that I get from that was, no ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. Play with your toys, baby. I just cannot. The number one thing that I got from that, girl boom, is the weight. Sometimes we have to get our eyes off the weight because our weight is, our time is not the same as God's time, okay? So once you realize that your time is different than the Lord's, you'll wait different, okay? So number one thing, because I've been waiting for 3 years too, if you want to sit there and count. And I haven't even been very intentional on getting the specific exact time that I've been waiting. Why? Because we get more frustrated when we start doing the numbers on things. Hold on, I'm about to put this in my mouth for a second.
Mommy, what are you doing?
My hair, honey. Because ain't nothing worse than when your boho don't fall out of your head in public. But anyways, where is it at? Is that it? But don't sit there and look at the time and how long you've been doing a thing. God is also, he's using this for in the future. In the future, there may be something that you're going to end up waiting on God for and trusting God for. Okay? So he's using this to build, what is it? I want to say tolerance, ammo, whatever you want to call it. Right? Can you say, oh my Lord. Remember to drink your water. Y'all, I actually have to use the bathroom now because I've been drinking water lately. But thank you. I've been doing better, sister. Thank you. I feel like somebody was actually praying for me too, that I actually drink water. Endurance. Thank you, Penny. Penny, you got it. But yeah. Another thing too is I had to be honest with myself on how many times that I had, you know, like touched the promise. Like all the times that the Lord had told me to like leave that thing alone and I kept touching it and stuff like that. Like just being honest with yourself, because what we do is when we start messing with our spouses and texting our spouses and it's not led by the Lord, is we get to tampering with things and manipulating things, whether we're trying to be manipulative or not. We're touching it and, you know, we're manipulating it. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like we start doing divination on accident, you know what I mean? Unintentionally on our promises. And what happens is sometimes we cause delay. We cause delay in it. So, and delay is not, people think when they hear delay, like, oh, Lord, now I'm finna be waiting another couple years. There was one time I kept fighting the Lord saying that I was in delay. And I said, screw it. I'm just going to admit that I'm in delay, right? And I want to say like 3 days after, God was like, the delay is broken. Like I started getting a whole bunch of words flooded to my phone. The delay is broken. The delay is gone. So what you feel like is going to be a long delay is not a long delay, okay? Unintentional divination and delay. That's a whole word within itself. Child, I don't even know. I'm just letting the Lord speak. But it doesn't mean you are weak, made by myself. I don't understand. And that's the thing too. How do you determine if somebody's stronger than you? Are you going off of physical strength, mental strength, spiritual? Like what would make somebody stronger than you? I mean, I know there's some people that's physically stronger than me, but I don't know spiritually. I know that there's some people that's more spiritually that could possibly be stronger than me, but you don't know, because some people, they have these personas that they put up. We don't know about the inside. We don't know about the things that we can't see. Maybe physically, but all the other categories, I don't really know. Mama, quit. The answer is immediately no. I'm trying to figure out. But the main thing is, because she is over here getting her car seat, getting ready to come over here and just to do her big one. Hold on. No, it's spreading. Some people. Yeah. What she said. I feel like these curls are not sticking together on this braid. This specific braid, they're not sticking together. But I just wanted to do like an encouragement circle where we can just say a whole bunch of positive things to one another, long story short, because Sister Girl had asked for encouragement. Like another thing too, let me be encouraged. This is the way I would encourage myself. Am I going to let the devil outweigh me? And the answer is no. No, I can't allow somebody, somebody who got kicked out of heaven outweigh me. Like I just cannot. I cannot allow somebody that was an op to the Lord to win over me. Like, no, I refuse. It's just a no. I thought somebody that got kicked out of heaven said something, because it's just a no for me. So let me be angry and not sin. Let me feel whatever I feel. Let me go whatever I go through. But no, we not finna let somebody that got kicked out of heaven get one up over us. It just immediately, no, it's diabolical. You know what I'm saying? Bless you too, Joe. I hope this part ain't crooked, because it's really giving crooked. It's really feeling like it's not straight. The devil does that to a lot of people. He be trying to outweigh everybody. He has nothing else to do. The devil has nothing to lose. Literally. Like the light, please. Thank you, girlfriend. Thank you. But yeah, thank you. But just to encourage all those people, I had to be honest with myself. And when I first started the walk, when it came down to my kingdom husband, do you know how many times I sat down, like spiritually? I'm like, yeah, I'm done praying. I'm done doing this. I'm done doing that. So there's been times on the stance that I sat down, stood up, sat down, stood up. And sometimes God will tell you to sit down. So I'm not talking about like the Lord told me to sit down. I'm telling you like, no, I sat down. Like, yeah, it's a no for me. You get what I'm saying? So I was on that type of time. So if I include all my disobedience in the stance along with my spouse disobedience, I want to say at the least we've accumulated a year and a half. A year and a half. You know? Just gonna be honest. A year and a half. I know from me actually paying attention from when the Lord started speaking that this was my spouse, it took me a couple months to actually listen. So that's another thing too. So yeah, I might have been waiting for my promise for 3 years, but God waited for me for about 6 months, specifically when it comes to kingdom marriage, and not even for the other things that he wanted me to do. You get what I'm saying? Oh, bless you, girl. But it just be stuff like that. Like, honey, calculate your disobedience and then calculate your spouse disobedience if you're gonna start calculating stuff. You know what I mean? Girl, back up off of my stuff. Goodness gracious. And you going to cry and you're messing with me. You're messing with me. You won't leave me alone. Don't be trying to gaslight me, little girl. Come over here trying to gaslight me because you knocking my stuff down, then gonna run off and cry. Anyways, I went back and forth too, way too many times. But it's like we get so frustrated at God and Him not moving stuff faster. And honestly, if you want to be honest, the amount of work that He's done within years would have took decades. You know what I mean? It take people so long to get just sense, okay, emotional intelligence and stuff like that, learning attachment styles. You get what I'm saying? Unlearning behaviors, uprooting belief systems, false belief systems. That type of stuff takes time, and God has done a lot in a couple of years. I will say that. He shifted mindsets and everything. Ma'am, I need this to just, honey, just go somewhere. Thank you. I should have used dread clips. We're supposed to use dread clips on this part, but I was clearly just trying to do stuff. And the enemy is trying to discourage us to implant doubt. Yeah, God can still work with doubt. Now, unbelief, that's a whole nother, God will do something when you doubt. All the stories that I read that people doubted, he still moved. Okay? Even when people didn't even have faith, he still moved. He was limited, but he still moved. He said, I can't even do all this with this unbelief. I gotta, Yes. He did a lot of rewiring. He did a lot of rewiring in this little bit of time. I'm telling you. I need a thick piece. I might have to use 2. If y'all want to see a tutorial on how I do this, I'll give you one. I'm literally coming up with it off the top of my head, though. I'm literally just... I'm doing stuff. I'm just doing stuff, honey. I've never done this before, so this is all new. All new to me. Well, don't look too bad. Yes, since last week. See, unbelief is you have everything you need to believe it, but you're still choosing not to. Okay, doubt is I understand, but I don't see the bigger picture. I don't know how you're going to make money come out of the nowhere. I don't know how you're going to make, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing. You don't have the full pieces. Unbelief is like you literally have everything you need. And you're still like, I don't know. I don't want to believe this. You know what I'm saying? There was who was it? Isaac name came from Sarah laughing. Sarah laughed because she was like, I highly doubt that. I highly doubt I can get pregnant. After all these years, there's another person. He had a promise. Who was it? I just went over it. I just went over this the other day. Zechariah, was it Zechariah? And God literally sent the angel Gabriel to close his mouth so he didn't speak against it. He's like, I can go with you doubting. I don't care about you doubting. When you get into refusing, knowing you've been through things to where you know I'm more than capable of doing this. I've literally parted the sea for you last year. You get what I'm saying? You've seen me heal the blind the other day. You get what I'm saying? And you're still choosing. Yes, John the Baptist's father. Honey, thank you. Because I'll be trying to remember stuff and I'll be having a hard time remembering stuff. These braids, when I say these braids, is all types of different sizes. I can literally feel it. This one is tiny, honey. But as long as the front look good, I do not care at all. That's good enough. Because it's 3, that's 2, yes, 5 on this row. Anyways, but yeah. God, he can get jiggy with it. He really can. And I don't really need to add, since these have bohos coming out.
What happened?
Thomas doubted, but was right there. Yeah, doubt. Now, when it came to unbelief, okay, honey. Why can't we get these demons out? Because unbelief. Now, why? And mind you, he was talking to the disciples when he told them y'all have unbelief. The disciples don't watch Jesus do all types of stuff. You get what I'm saying? And they had unbelief. Like, unbelief is that God is capable of, you're just choosing not to believe. You know I can do this. You see me do many things already. It wasn't because they lacked authority. The Bible didn't say because you have no authority. No, you literally are choosing not to believe at this point. So, it counterfeits with my spell. the thing, though. Is it because it's your spouse that you don't believe? You get what I'm saying? Because, like, we've seen people come into connection again with their spouse. You know, there's some people that went years separated from their spouse. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know that God is capable. You gotta ask yourself, why do I not believe that my spouse is going to come back from this counterfeit? Why? She over here singing happy birthday. I know that's right, sister girl. Says just fighting with my own understanding. I had the same type of problem too. And you know what happened? I had to not lean onto my own understanding. You gotta like when God hits you with something that don't make sense, you be like, I don't even know. I literally don't know. And that's the thing, like God will cause you on this walk to not trust in yourself, not trust in what you know. You get what I'm saying? It's okay to say you don't know. Many people don't want to say that they don't know. And that in itself will cause spiritual stagnation because you think you know everything and you want to know everything. Like, no. Mm-mm. So I was going to say, too, if Moses had known the Red Sea was going to be split, there would have been no problem with them, you know, leaving. They started to panic, you get what I'm saying? They had to think, like, I don't know, what we about to do? And then, and Moses was in a group of people that kept doubting God. They kept doubting God. They kept doubting God. God added more suspense, not giving a full game plan. God is not about to tell you that he's going to split the Red Sea. He's just going to do it. He calls the shots. Like, honestly, God could have really pulled, I don't need to explain nothing to nobody. Don't nobody deserve no explanations type of time, right? He could have did that. But no, God literally gave us the full blueprint. He said, let me write the Bible. Let me write the Bible. Let me give my people a little bit of understanding. The Father says not everybody knows everything. There's some things that only the Father knows. Type of time. I'm already loving this, y'all. This is eating. She's eating. Thank you. Please get away from me. Because you keep coming over here touching stuff and I don't like it. No. Yes, we know in part, we prophesy in part. Heck yeah. Jesus literally laid his deity aside and he walked in the flesh. He went without, he lacked so that we could have. Jesus walked by faith and not by sight. So when people tried to say, oh, God is so hypocritical telling us to do something he didn't do, he then can refer us to Jesus. You get what I'm saying? Give us the reference of Jesus. Well, Jesus actually came and walked by faith and not by sight. You get what I'm saying? Jesus was humble. So when the Bible tells us to be humble, God is not hypocritical. He literally sent Jesus to seal all the things that he told us to do. Everything he told us to do, Jesus did it perfectly. Perfectly. When the Bible says be angry and do not sin, when Jesus threw them tables at that temple, now my father's out, he was angry. He was angry. Mama. He did not sin though. Period. So everything, like I said, that the Father has set in stone for us to do, Jesus then already did that. There you go. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There you go. I got like 3 more hours. Here, I don't want this. Okay. Girl, please stop bringing me stuff. Please, please, please. Ain't nothing more irritating when you already tender-headed trying to do your hair and your baby is over here dropping your braiding hair and everything. Trying to figure out how I'm going to do my beauty treatment with no funds for nails, new hair. I'm literally going to have to make something work somehow. Honey, let me tell you this. The hair store that I got this hair at, I had shared before I went live. I don't know how long you've been on my YouTube channel, but I got hair for 99 cents that was originally $20. When I go to the beauty store, I look on the floor. On the floor, they be having hair in boxes, okay? So that's how I be doing my stuff. And then say I got like, I don't even know, $5 to get you 5 packs for 99 cents type of deal. You know what I mean? It'd be enough. And sometimes if it's tax season, I'm gonna go ahead and get me $50 worth of 99 cent hair. You get what I'm saying? And when I'm in drought, I can still do my hair. Many people don't even realize that my hair is already bought. You get what I'm saying? Like this, no, not this one. This is new. This is new. But this hair, I want to say was $45 total. What 2 packs of the braiding hair, and then the boho hair, I got 3 packs. Okay, period. But I'm still going to do stuff on a budget. Like there ain't no $200 in, yeah, no. Now this itself, this install would have ran you about $300. Yeah. You want bohos and you want one lift? Oh yeah. But then Family Dollar has nails, glue-on nails. And if you don't know how to keep them on, that's the problem, right? So you file your nail, the top of your nail. You get that little clear coat off. You don't need to be filing to go deep. The main thing, you want to build resistance. Take that clear coat off. Hold on, love. Girl. Hold on, y'all. My phone dying. Take that clear coat off. And then after you take that clear coat off, you then wipe off all the dust bunnies off the top of your nail. And then you glue it on the top. Okay? Apply pressure. So on and so forth. If my phone died, sorry. Oh, in advance. But yeah, and you do that. Preparation needs to be the same no matter what type of nails you're doing. Acrylic, Gel X, yada yada. You need the same type of application. Get that clear coat off first by fouling it, and you don't need no drill. Honestly, even the people in the nail shop don't really need a drill for that part. The only time you need a drill is when you're trying to shape the nail. But anyways, and if I wanted to, especially when I was in foster care, we used to get $8, and I used to have to do beauty treatments with $8. But oh, this ain't charging. There we go. But yeah, I'm telling you, I can get myself together real cheap, real cheap. Them $6 nails come in clutch. Some of them are $3. Some of them are $3. And even when I have the funds, I refuse to go $10 on some press-ons. Like I refuse. Another thing too is putting on nail dehydrator. If you put on nail dehydrator and you do that extra step, you can get your actual glue-on nails to stay on for a month. There's this girl, I think her name is Bria or something on YouTube. Bria, why is it not doing that? Are you not gonna let me be horizontal? Wow, it's not gonna let me do the horizontal, but her name is like Bria or something on here. Do you know who I'm talking about? And she literally does press-ons. And I said, Lord, I don't know how she gets her nails to stay on for a whole month or whatever. She will legit be like, yes, these are the same nails. And she does a soak off and everything to get her nails off. Excuse me. But yeah, when I have Facebook ministry, I pay stylists in advance to do lashes, hair, and nails on a person in need. Pray and trust God. And I was going to say too, a sister had just told me not too long ago, she said the Lord kept telling her to go to the store. And there's a Family Dollar that's not too far from her house. And she said, I didn't want to go because I didn't have any money. She said, I got there and I got all this stuff or whatever. And this dude in line had just paid for her stuff. The dude in line had just paid for her stuff. Now, let me tell y'all, because of how I look, okay, this has happened to me so many times. Because of how I look, people don't think that I know God. Okay, not know of, but actually know him. Like, we go together real bad, right? So, oftentimes, God will send me somewhere. He'll have me leave the house. One time, he literally said, go to Walmart. I was like, why you want me to go to Walmart? I had already, ordered my groceries and everything. I said, Lord, I don't need nothing. He said, go to Walmart. And when he said it the second time, it was kind of like, I ain't going to say it again. I already told you to go to Walmart, So I said, okay, I'm going to go to Walmart. Then as I was getting dressed or whatever, he's like, $50. And I'm like, okay, $50, cool. And long story short, now I'm in Walmart. And I don't even... I don't have the real reason why I'm in Walmart, so I'm just walking around, right? So I'm now at the jewelry thing, and I'm looking at the jewelry thing because I like to window shop me some jewelry, okay? From time to time, I eyeball a piece and then get the funds and come up with it. Now, mind you, Walmart jewelry is cheap. I'm just very cheap. I'm that cheap to where Walmart jewelry ain't cheap for me. But anyways, there's this lady and she sees me and she's looking. She just keeps peeking at me. And she said, I know this is going to sound crazy. She already messed up because don't nothing sound crazy because I'm crazy, baby. Baby, I'm just as crazy as whatever you finna say, if not more. You get what I'm saying? So she was like, the Lord told me to walk up to you and ask you for I just want to ask you for anything. I don't want to be too specific, but she's like, I just got an apartment and then this and that. And as she's talking about the apartment, the Lord said receipts, right? And I was like, what? So then she goes in her phone, she's scrolling. She's like, this is the proof that I really did get the apartment and stuff like that. I'm not lying to you and just trying to come up, with an excuse to get some money. I said, how much do you need? She said, $50, but I'm just asking for anything. Child, little did she know, God had already, and I think he had me pull the 50 out and everything. Like my bank was inside of Walmart too. So how convenient, how convenient is my bank is literally, I opened up my account at this specific Walmart. But anyways, so I had already pulled the money out. So all I had to do was hand it to her. There was no waiting or anything. Like God had literally just sent me to Walmart to just give somebody $50, long story short. But like, people don't be thinking like that. People do not think like that. And the Bible talks about like you being a cheerful giver. Like this is not like, oh, you just be doing that. No, it's not nothing like that. I actually like to give to people, whether it be like materialistic stuff, you know what I mean? Or like if I have a friend and I find never had no designer, I'm gonna go out of my way to get them one bag, like one designer bag, one shoe or something. Like I just want you, like I found out my friends had never ate crab before. I took her and her son out to eat crab. I was like, how you ain't never had crab? Get back up off of my stuff. Back up off. Stop touching my stuff, baby. You causing everything to fall. I don't like it. Here, don't go back in my fridge either, because I'm pretty sure the refrigerator door is open right now as we speak. But I'm not gonna stress myself out. But there's some people that and I had told a sister this the other day, so I feel like God just wants people to know. When he's telling you to do a thing, he's already went ahead of you. She was probably up in Walmart before I was up in Walmart. Well, who knows? Maybe I was up in Walmart before her. But me just doing nothing, I literally didn't need nothing. I was like, this is just so stupid for me to go to Walmart. But okay. And he literally said everything down to the T. So I knew that I wasn't giving the blessing to the wrong person. And if you do give a blessing to the wrong person, if you truly think that the Lord has said it and you end up finding out later you was wrong, God will still bless you for your obedience because your heart was in the right space. Lord, I really thought you said her and it was the wrong person. God's like, I don't care, because you thought that it was really me speaking type of deal. So when I first started learning the voice of God, I was so paranoid that I would bless the wrong people and do the wrong stuff. And God still blessed me for the times that I thought that I heard him when I didn't hear him properly. And it literally takes, I will say honestly, it takes years. It takes years to learn the voice of the Lord. Years. To where you can literally do stuff on demand. But there's sometimes I'll see that people need help and I just be like, yeah, I'm gonna help them. You were right even when you were wrong, honey. I would just tell, but no, that time I know 100% that was God. But I'm saying there was other times where I just kind of like, I compulsively gave. Compulsively. And I had said this before. There was 2 people on the live years ago, and they were talking about they just got approved for a house or whatever. And that's so funny because each time it's like, oh, housing, let me help. But I'm noticing a trend. But they got approved, but they didn't have the finances, and they just did everything by faith. And they were on live, and they were asking for help. And I'm not going to say how much I sent, but yeah. Yes, honey. And that's another thing too. Like God can be telling you to be like so big amounts, crazy faith. There was one year he had me sow $1,200 and something to multiple ministries. So it was like 4 different ministries. I want to say 4 different people. So it was almost over, I don't know, maybe $4,000, a little over $4,000. And I did it by faith. Now I kid you not. Right after that, God had told me to apply for school. And I'm like, honey, baby, listen, mama don't got no money. Look, mama don't got no money to do this. And God kept telling me to apply for a sponsorship. So I went and I applied for the sponsorship. And mind you, the sponsorship is like you have to have a baby that's 6 weeks or under 6 weeks old, right? My daughter's 6 months. Baby, we ain't even we in off of formula at this point. You know, we getting off of milk, not really, but like, you know, I'm giving her solid food now, you know. And God bothered me for, I want to say, 6 weeks. So I was in a transition period where I was leaving the shelter. So God had me sow that much when I was in the shelter. But I had the money to sow. It wasn't like I was borrowing from somebody. But anyways, so I really so long story short, I ended up doing the scholarship and I applied and they said you're approved like by the next day. They literally tell me I'm approved. So there's a there's like an in-between. They said we will give you like from $17,000 to up to $40,000 to put you through school. Okay? So I did all that $4,000 and you know, $1,200, whatever, right? Because God had told me to. Whole time, my little raggedy scraggly 4,000 was bumped up to 40,000. I want to say I got a high like 30 something thousand when I was in school. These people not only pay for my schooling, but they pay for my bills, so I didn't have to worry about rent and lights and daycare and all that. And I was like, we be thinking our sacrifices are going overlooked or whatever. Then I wasn't even sure if God was telling me to go to that school, you know? So I was like, Lord, I don't even know if I heard you right when you was telling me to go to the school. But because I think I'm going to just do, and I got blessed for it. So I'm just telling y'all that he may have you give abundantly. And honestly, only 2 of those places, maybe it was 3 places. I don't know. I don't remember how much it was, to be honest, because I was so happy to give it anyways. But 2 of those places were physical locations. The other ones were, you know, online ministries. Literally online ministries. So if these people had not started their YouTubes, if they had not been in position, they would not have got that. Oh, baby, that person was in the position at the right time. This woman of God was feeding me spiritually to where I was growing rapidly. So she definitely, to me, deserved more than that that I gave. And she was doing something for God that was a big shift in the spirit. So I was more than happy to sow into her. But it just be stuff like that, like, honey, I was so happy that I did it, looking back at it, because God had multiplied those couple of $1,000s that he had me sow. And like I said, I was literally in a shelter. I was in a shelter when I started my ministry. I was, you know, I was in a mindset of, let me save every cotton picking penny I get. I didn't want to spend nothing. And then God had told me to quit my job. So it's like I worked until 11 days before I gave birth, because that's how much I was like, Lord, I'm tired of going through the same thing over and over and over and stuff like that. But honey, that and you know, when we do stuff like that, it really sucks, because we want to be humble, and humility is not something that you can say like, oh, I'm a humble person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you will know that they're humble by their fruit, right? So it's like we be doing stuff like that. Ministries do stuff like that, and we get blessed abundantly. So we get on here, we're like, you know, so generously, and then it's like people will look at you sideways because like, okay, they just want some money from me, but whole time it's like God has had us do some major faith moves. And we're not trying to put ourselves out, because it's like, why would you go give and then tell everybody that that's what you be doing, that you be giving? You're not really giving. You giving so you can be seen. So it's like, it'd be like an eternal affliction that we be going through. Like, should we tell the sheep what we did behind the scenes so they can reap the same type of blessing? Or should we just shut up and just hope that they hear God properly? Somebody may be out there like counting on me as a confirmation to go ahead and sow, you know, sow a big seed and stuff like that. So it's just like, it'd be a lot of we be like just afflicted sometimes. Like, honey, I don't know if I should tell them so they can get on the prosperity with us, or you know what I mean? Because when God talked about wealth transfer, I didn't know. Honestly, he kept saying something about wealth transfer, but I was new to the prophetic scene, so I didn't understand how you just gonna all of a sudden transfer wealth. When God does a wealth transfer, it's literally like out of the blue. Like, I literally dreamt of stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? And then the shelter that I was at, I had another sponsorship. These people out of the blue just popped up at the shelter when my baby was like 3 months old. I had already, you know, farted her out. And they're like, hey, we're going to sponsor all the moms at this shelter, and we're going to put them through school. Now, this is a whole nother separate school. See, the school that I got the other sponsorship was esthetician school to teach you how to wax and do eyebrows and stuff. But this school was for UX design and project management. So these people make a good chunk of money every year. You get what I'm saying? So they literally have sponsored us, and even the laptop that I have, it came from that shelter. So I say that to say a lot of people, you don't want to go through the wilderness. You don't want to go through what you got to go through. But that shelter till this day, I got stuff waiting for me at the shelter right now as we speak. That's what I mean. If I had not left my kingdom, because the whole story, backtrack, I'm doing it backward, but I was living with my husband, right? And we're not getting along, so I left. And we're roommates, where we're not in a relationship. It's just like after a while, like roommates, like don't eat my stuff, you don't eat my stuff type of deal. Even though it was his baby, we was both on our petty type of time. But I left him. So if I had not left him and chose to be homeless, when I say like I had a moment of sleeping at a basketball court, and stuff like that while I was pregnant, I was like 7 months or whatever. But I would have missed out on major favor. That shelter was the best shelter I've ever been to in my life. And I have been to multiple shelters because my biological family was homeless, so they had 8 kids and they couldn't care for us all. But if I'd have not went to that shelter, I never had to buy diapers for my daughter except for one time. And I only had to buy diapers because I forgot them at the shelter. And I was already out and about. And I was like, I either got to spend money to Uber back to the shelter or I could just buy them while I'm out. So other than that, now she's potty trained. But you get what I'm saying? Like, I did not have to spend money diaper-wise, formula-wise for my daughter at all because I went to that shelter when I was pregnant. And they do. When I say this shelter does everything, y'all, not to put you in my business or anything, they give all throughout the year. This shelter gives all throughout the year. Everybody that has ever lived there get gifts all throughout the year. Okay? So y'all might see me with something new out the blue and I'm talking about, I ain't got this, I ain't got that. Because they will just, here's a gift card. Here's a gift card. To Amazon only or Walmart only. And I'm able to get groceries or something. You know what I'm saying? So it just be stuff like that. But many people, you're like, no, Lord, I don't want to go be homeless. I know you told me to go be homeless. I don't want to do, baby, I'm happy I listen. And the Bible does say those who leave mothers, brothers, and sisters and all that and fields for my sake and children and husband and wives will receive 100-fold. I do feel like I got a partial of my 100-fold already as is. So I just say that to say, like, when God is telling you to move, baby, just move. If he's telling you to go be homeless, it might sound crazy. I literally sat with the Lord and said, Lord, if you want me to go be homeless while I'm pregnant, I'll do it. Then when he said, yeah, he answered me that day, y'all. I literally asked him that earlier that day. He said, yeah. I was like, yeah. Look, wait, are you sure? Because I kept telling the Lord, I'm pregnant. And mind you, it hadn't even been raining like that. Now it's starting to rain. But catch that in the spirit. It had started to rain. So I'm like, man, I'm pregnant. I'm hungry. You know what I mean? And now it's raining. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, man. Mommy. And all that because nothing major happened. Me and my spouse were living together miserably. You know what I mean? It wasn't like bickering or anything like that. It's like, you ever see somebody and you just dislike them with every bone in your body? So me just staring at him used to anger me. And I was like, if I keep, being angry like this while I'm pregnant, I'm gonna lose my baby. I'm gonna lose my baby because I'm stressing myself out. Get out of my desk. That's chemicals. Go to your room. I keep telling you, go over there and play. Let me see. Oh, that is locked in. Oops. Sorry, y'all. I gotta cut this piece of hair off, though. Well, then stop messing with me because you have all the toys on the couch and you can literally play on the couch. Mine's about to be doing her hair for a couple hours, honey. You gotta find something safe to do because messing with me ain't it. Anyways. But yeah, I'm just happy that I listen. I am. And then also, now let me tell you the rest of it though. Hold on, because this is getting even better. So then I'm at another shelter. Right before I got to that shelter, I went to a shelter first, and they told me you can't stay here long because we have pedophiles here, and babies are not allowed on premises of the shelter because of that, right? So I'm like, oh man. So I started going different places because I wanted different stuff to eat. And I went to my church to go eat. So, long story short, I ended up meeting my pastor and a whole bunch of other pastors. because he's like, have you ever heard about Jesus Christ, and have you given your life to him and all that? He's trying to do the born again prayer with me. And it's like, I had already internally like, Lord, I'm going to take you serious and, do what I need to do. But I still have some ways that need to be pruned. So I told him, look, I already know about Jesus, but do you do deliverance? That's what I told him. I said, do you do deliverance? And he said, I do. So, child, I said, I need your number and we need to get me delivered ASAP. And he gave me his number. And I want to say a couple months after that, they do a full-blown deliverance on me, honey. And the rest is history. YouTube kicked off. I ended up moving out the shelter shortly after that. Shortly after being delivered. And yeah, it's only been up from there. Girl, she's not finna stress me out. Why is all the comments like that? Oh, maybe that's the last comment. But yeah, I just wanted to say that stuff. If that ain't the definition of don't lean onto your own understanding, if I would have stayed with my husband, I'd have never received 100-fold. I'd have never received sponsorships, 2 sponsorships to be exact. I'd have never received deliverance. I would have missed out on getting help further down the line with my baby. I also met people that I'm still locked in with this till this day. Like when I got in my car accident, one of the staff from the shelter had picked Trinity up and allowed her, watch her, whatever, and allowed me to sleep for a day. Like, I don't have any people out here. God told me to come to Texas. I'm not even from Texas. All my people is in California. All my help is in California. But God was like, I'm sending you to another land, honey, and I'm going to send some people for you. And don't even worry about nothing. And it sounds delusional. Like, what you mean go to another land and don't worry about nothing? You know what I mean? Like, literally, don't worry about nothing. So that's the definition of alignment. That's the definition. And mind you, I wasn't even trying to listen to God. God told me to come to Texas. I said, Lord, I am not trying to do that. I was with my first baby daddy, and I wasn't even worried about nothing but a chicken wing, but I was trying to be up under that man, and he had did so much to me. I said, Lord, I'm going to ruin his life. I said, I don't even want to be with him, but I'm going to get away from my stuff now. You about to make me mad. Move. Move. The way that she fall out is diabolical. She said like this. And she running like, did y'all hear the noise she was making? Anyways, she's just as dramatic as me. Why? I thought I prayed about this, Lord, when I was pregnant. Anyways, so how did I get to Texas? Let's talk about that. I was in a poly relationship. Yes, I said poly, with a man and a woman at the time, right? So the enemy had there was rejection early on in life. I was a middle child, and then after I was a middle child, my mama ended up popping out like 6 more kids after that. Then I was really unseen, right? But I was like the 4th slash the 5th oldest. But even when my mom had 8 kids or 9 kids, or whatever, I was in the middle. I was always just overlooked. So the enemy used like perversion and love of people. So he took love of people and he perverted that. He was like, Jessica, because you love everybody, you're pansexual, right? So pansexual is you would just, honey, listen, pansexual is anybody that like you like them type of time. Like, that's really what that means. Like, just like so, like that. So I ended up getting in a poly relationship after saying that I was pansexual. Anyways, that's besides the point. Like, there's some people that are intersex, they're born intersex. So that's not on them if they're born intersex. And if you don't know what intersex is, then go look it up, because that means you have both weenie and coconuts, and you got everything. But this is the thing with intersex people. Your ovaries might work or your sperm might work, but both of them do not work effectively. So more than likely, like more so, people choose the one that works. Like, okay, so my ovaries are active, I'm just going to chop that one off. Okay, so when it got the whole part of the woman and the part where this in the middle of the woman, there will be a part of a man on that part. That's what it looks like. I know that's very explicit. You have to be very mature to understand. But so that's an intersex. That's what it looks like down there. So anyways, so I was like, those people need love too, which they do. Hey, don't get it twisted. But if your ovary work, then go with the ovaries. If the sperm work, then go with the sperm. That's how I feel like we should just settle that one. Now, some people may not think it's that easy. To me, it's that easy. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, because why would you keep Why would you keep? Anyways, but yeah. So we with the girl. Me and my baby daddy with the girl. Not my husband now. My first baby daddy. I had a baby that passed away when I was like 8 months pregnant. So me and him, we arguing. We going through it. Da da da. There was this girl that he was with the whole pregnancy, my whole pregnancy at least, and he ended up beating her up. And one day we was going to the nail shop. It was on Father's Day, and I was gonna pay for him to get his nails done, and she popped up and she started going off. So then after that, we go to my foster sister house, and the Holy Spirit in that moment was like, I want you to go to Texas and get your husband. And I was like, yeah, it's a no for me. First off, I was prideful, so I was like, chase a man. I was like, why my man can't come to California and get me? Like, why would I go to Texas and get a man? That's crazy. And I told the Lord, like, I'm literally dealing with a habitual liar right now as we speak. And like the Holy Spirit was in this conversation, like down this man's throat. When I say, and not in a good way, like when I say this man was like, she was talking about, she hope our baby die. And then the Lord was like, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Right. So long story short, he was basically telling her like he hopes our baby die and our baby don't make it. Da, 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 da. Anyways, so get out, go. Cause she over here grabbing flat irons and everything. That's why I don't want you, get out of my bubble. She is so dramatic. Like this is ridiculously dramatic. That is the I don't need nothing cry. So boom. So we pull up to the nail shop. She walk up and I'm like, hey girl, I love your outfit. She said, thank you. She was like, you mother juckin' to him, right? And I'm like, oh snaps. The baddie, he been messing with the baddie this whole time. And I knew it was somebody because there was one day I had to get 4 surgeries when I was pregnant with her, right? So we was like trying to keep her alive so bad. So anyways, so she walked up and she started going off on him after I complimented her. I was like, this is so awkward because I'm over here just telling her how cute she was. But anyways, after they was done arguing, I was like, I'm so sorry, girl. He's so mean. You know what I mean? Like, cause I was one of them. I was always drunk around that time anyways. But like, yeah, right after my baby died, I started getting drunk. But anyways, so I'm like, he's so mean. Da 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 da. So then, after that, we at my foster sister house and he over here lying. And the Lord's like, go to Texas, get your husband. So I said, Lord, I'm not even spiritually strong enough. I'm not strong enough to do anything you need me to do right now. But I had prayed. I said that, you know, whatever he want done, let it be done. So in other words, without knowing the scripture, like, let your kingdom come, let your will be done. That's literally what I prayed in so many words. So child, me and my other baby daddy, we get into it. And we both start calling the police on each other. So first he had slapped me. And that's when I wanted him to leave after he slapped me. So him and the girl had got into it. They're into it like crazy, and I wouldn't say nothing because I had already been with him for a couple years, so I already know like what type of time he's on. There's some people that are so abusive that you don't even need to say anything; they're just gonna hit you anyways. And he was like, he was going down that path around the time that I didn't really want to deal with him for real. I just feel like he wasted so many years of my life because he was my friend for 5 years before we started actually dating, and we only dated for 11 months, but I feel like he just wasted a lot of my time, my money, because when I met him, I was like 17 or 18 years old, and I had my own apartment, and I had a whole bunch of adults that were coming to live with me, like a family of 4. They were in their 30s and all that. I was still in high school, and these people were like leeching off of me real bad. So he was one of them, right? And so that's why I said before I started the story, I literally did not want him, but I was so angry at all the time that he wasted. I was like, I'm going to make sure don't nobody even get a chance to love this man. So there really are people out there that they didn't went through so much, whether it be with a person or somebody else, to where they will literally just be a placeholder in their life just so they don't have nothing good. And I had literally had a thought, a very demonic thought of, I'm going to just sit in this man's life to where he can't get nothing good for him. But anyways, so they're arguing and I'm cooking. And I'm like, he just so retarded. Like, he will lose the dice game and come home and start throwing stuff. Like, come on now. So I kept telling her to be quiet. And he was getting mad because I'm telling her to be quiet so he could look delusional. You're going to look delusional if nobody's arguing with you and you still yelling. So he raised his hand at her and he acted like he was finna slap her. And he didn't slap her. Right? And she jumped. She flinched. So he raised his hand at me. Baby, I took my shoes off. Because listen, I'm not finna flinch. If we're going to fight, look. If we're going to fight, then we're going to fight. I'm not finna sit here and be jumping at you. Because whether I flinch or not, you still going to hit me if you going to hit me anyways. So he didn't like how not scary I was or whatever. So Long story short, he waited till I wasn't looking and he slapped me, which my ex used to do that. He used to always hit me and then I'll go beat him up. But anyways, that's besides the point. So I was already familiar due to another relationship on how abusive men be acting. You know what I mean? So when he hit me the next day, it be war in the house. Once you hit me, it's just like, honey, I was just like, we at war now. So I called his mama one day and I was early in the morning. I was drinking. I said, him and her sleep right now. I said, I want to pepper spray him and start hitting him with the pot. But I'm so mad. I don't think I'm going to stop hitting him. But I was like, I don't want to kill him though. But I said, see, she was mixed, but she was more so on the white side than anything because her mama was white. But I said, not Lord. I was talking to his mama. I was like, she gonna call the police on me. Mind you, I have already had a warrant in Texas. That's another reason why I didn't want to go to Texas. So I'm like, I have a warrant and no, don't go back in my room. You don't need nothing. Back up. You don't need nothing. You fine. I just bought her a hamburger and curly fries from Jack in the Box. This baby, she be doing too much and not enough at the same time. She literally don't need nothing. She's bored. She just came, and how many Go-Gurts has she eaten on this live? Like, let's be so for real, daughter. She done hand me, I don't know how many Go-Gurts I done opened up, chopped open, and bit open and everything. Like, these kids will be wasteful if you let them. But anyways, so his mama is like, no, she gonna for sure call the police on you. I'm letting you know right now. She gonna call the police on you. So she's like, don't do it. So I continue to fester anger and resentment towards him since I wasn't able to abuse him in his sleep. So then after that, what was it? Oh, I came in the house one day and I was already fuming the whole time I went shopping. The whole time I went shopping, I was thinking about how I need to get my lick back. That was my main thing. Back in the day when I would get cheated on, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to cheat on you though. Like whether it be your brother, your cousin, your best friend, the ops, because I dealt with people from different sets because I was in the hood, stuff like that. I was going to make sure it got back to you, right? So that's the type of time I was on. But this time I wanted violence. I didn't want cheating. I wanted him to feel it, right? So why you keep coming over here? Go play with your toys. You literally got your tablet, your baby doll, your dog. You got all this stuff all over my couch. She just got too much stuff going on. But anyways, so some of y'all so invested in the story, huh? so after that, long story short, I walked in the house and I was angry and I grabbed a knife. And I grabbed the knife and I walked smooth past him. He's in the kitchen. And I had texted him the whole time. I was like, get out before I start telling them your business. Which I was telling him, I'm going to tell the police that you just pow 2 people 2 weeks ago. But I wasn't really going to do that. He would have got life in prison. He had already went to prison. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to snitch on him for real. Because I don't want somebody being stuck in prison for the rest of their life because I snitched. You know what I mean? Okay, and then after that, can y'all hear me? Ooh. And then after that, he told the police when they got there that I had a warrant in Texas. And then long story short, they flew me from Texas, from California to Texas. And then I was stuck out here. And yeah, long story short. Yep. So I had prayed that the Lord get me to Texas no matter what that looked like. And it looked like me getting arrested. It looked like me getting swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? Yeah, it looked like me being swallowed and stuck. In the name of love, before you break. That's why I said, lean not onto your own understanding. I didn't know how the Lord said, look, honey, I can get you to Texas for free on the house. Your food is on me, honey. Don't worry about nothing. You won't even have to pay no rent for the first 10 months because you're going to be incarcerated. I got you, baby. And then he sent me a destiny helper from there. He sent me several destiny helpers. Several. So I found 2 strangers. What is it called? PayPals or something like that? When you find people when you locked up and then they want to talk to. Why do you want to talk to somebody locked up? But anyways, that's besides the point. I found some people like that to talk to me. And they signed on my bond. My older sister paid for my bond. So the main thing was God started showing me who was real, who was fake, who was for me and whatnot. Because my baby daddy took all my money along with another foster sister that I had out here. They were actually in Texas, but they refused to sign on my bond. So I had to have 2 strangers that I never met a day in my life. Well, one, he came to see me via jail visit, and he liked what he saw. You know, a little, what's the name of it? A little pin in the eyebrow. Look, a little Kool-Aid packet on the lips. You know, he's talking about why you look so good and you locked up. Because I'm an MUA. What? Why'd I look crazy and I knew you were coming? Like, my life depends on me looking good, honey. I need you to want me out. You know? But anyways, and then two people signed on my bond. And then one of the girls, she was like, this is so, like, listen to how, this was so ghetto. Okay. So she's like, I got a cousin. Her name is this. And she ain't never home, but her door be unlocked. But if she is home, then tell her that you my cousin. How you got a cousin that's not going to be able to know that I'm not y'all cut? Like, I was like, this is so sketchy. I'm about to go to this house because I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm in a whole nother state. I ain't got no ID. I don't have no social. I don't have no clothes. I only got the clothes on my back. That was it. So I'm like, man, I'm about to really go. And she was on drugs or whatever. But I was like, look, listen, use who you must, Lord. So I go there to the location. She gave me the address. Nobody's home. I'm sitting on the couch. When I get there, this girl walk in who is literally the owner or whatever. Well, it's an apartment, but you know, of the house. And she's like, why are you here? And I said, so-and-so sent me. She told me to say that we cousins, but I'm not gonna lie, right? I was like, I'm not gonna lie and say that we cousins or whatever. And she was like, that's fine. And I was like, I met her when I was locked up or whatever, but I was like, I can try my best to give you money to stay here because I don't have nowhere to go. She's like, well, where are your people? I said, in California. She said, oh, you ain't from out here? I was like, Why did that girl let me stay at her house? Why did this girl that don't even know me let me stay at her house? I was like, this is crazy. From there, I found a whole bunch of different dope fiends, and I was just staying with them. So kind, very kind people. Love that. Very kind. But yeah, and then after that, I met my spouse like a week later, and I got pregnant. I wasn't even out for 30 days before I got pregnant. It was like right after my first period, I was pregnant. But anyways, and I got pregnant with her, and then I lived with him a little bit. Then I just chose homelessness. I said, yeah, let's just be homeless because this is just crazy out here. Yeah. And then yeah, because I was in a trap house for a little bit. And my Keenan spouse, now mind you, I didn't even tell my Keenan spouse that I was like living in a trap house. But he was like, I was only inviting you to come to my house, so you wasn't in a trap house. Honey, do you know how many times I done lived in a trap house? Several. Look, several. I want to say from 20, when I was 20 years old, I was living in a trap house. They would teach me all types of stupid stuff. I learned a lot. But yeah, I'm like, my friend, I love her so much even till this day. She was, I think she smoked crack and meth, and the other one was meth only. Then my other friend, I love him to death. He did heroin, and I was the only weed smoker at the time up in there. But I mean, it is what it is. Just because y'all doing it, well, what I'm doing ain't no better. We all doing something we ain't supposed to do. But yeah, I say that to say, some people, you looking at your destiny helpers like, them? Yes, them. I wasn't even looking at it like that. I literally, God, when I say God will close the door, I couldn't handle the smell of the whack. They smoked PCP. And with me being pregnant, I didn't even know, but with me being pregnant, I couldn't handle it. And that caused me to go somewhere else to a different dope fiend. But I was able to isolate myself in a room where I didn't have to smell it like that. And then after that, he got into it with the lady in the leasing office. Now, mind you, we're all illegally there. We're squatting it out. So he argued with her. She was like, I was going to give y'all longer, but now y'all need to leave right now. I'm like, boy, you just don't know how to shut up. But anyway, so then that's when I called my husband. I was like, well, I ain't got nowhere to go now. I said, we getting an eviction. It wasn't an eviction, honey. They about to board this thing. Look, they about to board it up. But yeah, I had connections. I just wasn't using them. But yeah, anyways, I'm in the laundry room. He saved me from the homeless shelter. Y'all, I kid you not. People don't like shelters. They be going through it. But shelters expedite housing. Everything is expedited when you go to a shelter. So you could have been on Section 8 for 10 years. And you go to a shelter for 2 months and they already got you out the shelter. Why? They expedite stuff when you have a caseworker. When you have a caseworker, they expedite it. Just for me being in the shelter, I got more than they gave me. There's a warehouse out here that does furniture. It's called Dallas Furniture Bank. But anyways, they do furniture. Is it Dallas Furniture Bank? Now go stand in the corner. Okay. No, in the corner. Stand in the corner. Yeah, cry. It's okay to cry. You tearing up my stuff. I should be crying. I'm so sad. No. I'm not gonna play with her. Booty. I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you because you just broke my stuff. So stand in the corner. I don't feel sorry for you right now at all. Stand in the corner. Close your mouth, Mama. Child. I feel like dealing with this right now. It's my nail stuff. And she knows she's not supposed to be over there. She knows she cannot be over there. You cannot be in the drawers. You cannot be taking out the gloves. It's literally my gels, my dip powders. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Anyways. But yeah. I forgot where I was at. But shelters expedite stuff. They expedite everything for you. So you go, things that would take years to happen within months, days, weeks at shelters. Some people don't know that was speaking, telling you to move that. Move that. Was God speaking through them? Honey, yes. God was like, girl, it's time for you to go. He had been telling me that though when I was pregnant. He was like, get out of there. It's not safe when you're pregnant. Just like my daughter. Fidgety and dramatic. Like, I should be crying. I'm gonna let her sit in there for one more minute. 6:47. By 6:48, I'm gonna have her get out. I'm gonna tear my stuff up. I think she's just bored because she wanna go outside. I'm not finna go outside with my hair half done, ma'am. I'm just being honest with you. Exactly. But so it'd be so many people that be okay with, and I say this not in no rude way, but like there's people that are okay with being on Section 8, but are not okay with going to the shelter to expedite getting it. You could literally have somewhere to go. Literally. And I had thought about that a few times. Like, I could literally go to the shelter and get housing. I don't have housing right now. I've never gotten housing a day in my life. Not that I'm against it. I ain't against it. I want some. But I trust that God. Come here. Look at me. Stop touching my stuff. Don't touch it and find something safe to do. You understand? I don't know why you're making that face. Do you understand? Go stand back in the corner. Because until we can discuss why you're getting in trouble, I'm not going to keep... No, we're not doing this. You need to talk to me. No, ma'am. Go stand back in the corner. for the most part, when you put kids in the corner, they need to know what they did to even get in the first place. I don't like to just be doing stuff and even explaining to them why. So then they keep making the same mistake and then they keep getting in the corner. If you want to be prideful now, Hey Andrew, y'all come get y'all niece. We over here. We head to head right now. I don't see you standing in the corner. Why are you sitting down? Child. Stand up. And get in the corner. And get in the corner. She looked like she want to say but mom. No, ain't no but nothing. Because I just tried to have a conversation with you and you just sat there and ignored me. Thank God I ain't like my mama. Thank God. My mama would have been out here slapping me smooth across my face, sitting there ignoring her. You don't ever ignore an adult. Goodness gracious. She don't care. It's not just her. It's anybody. An adult in general. Okay, booty, come back. Come here. Quit touching my stuff. You understand? I put you in the corner because you was touching my stuff. Not only was you touching my stuff, but you caused it to fall. And now my thing is broken. Do you see that? On the ground? The little box is broken. So now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna store it. You understand? I don't like that. You broke mommy's stuff. How would you feel if mommy broke your stuff? Would you be so sad? Would you be sad if mommy broke your stuff? I'm not gonna break it. I'm just saying, how would you feel? I want you to know how I feel. Huh? Hey, I'm not done talking. Come back. Come back. That's how you know you don't put fear in your child when they walk up. You know, I used to be so scared of my mama. I wouldn't even want to walk up on her. Like, come here. I'll be so far. Look. These kids are not fearful of nothing. They ain't fearful of nothing at all. Hold on, back up. Because you keep knocking my charger, mama. Okay. Here you go. You okay? Oh, you okay? Here you go. Yeah, Phil. You got it. Baby, I'd have been so time pick and scared to approach my mama. 6 feet, coronavirus. Type of time, for real. Y'all, I'm not even, am I halfway done? No, I'm about to be halfway. I could just throw up. This is taking forever. Y'all think this is gonna be cute? It does not get talked about enough. What? Hey, can you talk about the seriousness of spiritual warfare? Everything is spiritual. It's like everything is spiritual. A lot of people are like, not everything is this and not everything is that. Everything, there is a spirit and behind everything that is done. Honestly. From it being people, from it being agendas, you know. I ain't gonna say too much because I ain't got time for the feds come for me. But you know what I mean? Everybody's promoting an agenda. What agenda are you promoting? Are you promoting the gospel? Are you promoting the kingdom of heaven? Spiritual warfare. A lot of people in the church are not even aware about it, and they're being attacked in so many different ways. It's just sad. It's just really a sad story. What style are you going for, sis? No, I'm just doing stuff in churches. I don't think the church even knows the half of it. I think, honestly, that's why God's just raising up a whole bunch of prophets. I think it's going to take prophetic people to bring it to the light. And I only say that because prophetic people are able to feel the heart of God. So you can literally feel the grief that God has, the sadness that God has, right? The happiness that God has, the excitement. You get what I'm saying? You feel everything that God feels. So there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like when you're prophetic, it's not going to be a choice of, if I feel or even agree with God. Like you just going to be on his side. It doesn't matter. You're going to be on the side of justice. A lot of people don't, it doesn't make sense to them. Because I just saw a post the other day, right? She's talking about, are you pro-life or you how are you going to be pro-life and also okay. Basically not, what is it, pro-abortion? Not pro, what is it? When you don't want abortion? When you don't want abortion to happen? But anyways, they were basically saying she's hypocritical because she believes in gun rights and stuff like that. Now, she said if you take all the guns off the land or whatever, then only the people who illegally have guns will have guns, and you don't want that to happen. I get what she's saying. But if you're pro-life, then somebody said then that means you agree in protecting life, right? Now I'm not into all the politics stuff. I'm into the word of God. And you being in the word of God will get you into politics slightly. Now, mind you, I've never voted a day in my life. I would not vote unless the Lord himself has told me to vote. And he has not told me to vote. He's literally told me who to pray for to win. And every time he's told me who to pray for to win, they have won. But he more so has me spiritually vote than physically. Most of the stuff he has me do is spiritually behind the scenes. It's not so much of in the physical. But anyways, but if you have your belief system built in the Bible, that'll help you pick your political party, whatever that is, right? Once you realize Moloch and all that is into the child sacrifice scene and the whole abortion scene, you won't want nobody to get it just off the principle of that. You know what I'm saying? Pro-choice, yeah, that. And another thing too, when it comes down to protecting, the Bible talks about love your wife, and Jesus literally, him dying for us was a protection in a sense, because now when we fight spiritually, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and high places and stuff like that. I'm paraphrasing that, but long story short, Jesus said, I did not come to bring peace but a sword. Then he also says, I came to turn mothers against daughters, and so on and so forth. So Jesus came for war. So we know that when he says in the Bible to obey the law of the land, and I already told you, me specifically, I learned that in Texas, if two consent to fight, then you guys can fight. So God is not just telling us to get beat up. He literally came and died. So we have the blood of Jesus to throw in the battle and paint bloodlines over ourselves and be able to protect us. He came to seal the deal for our protection. So in Revelation, you think that's going to be a whole bunch of quoting scripture? No, that's going to be some real life. We're going to be out here thugging it for real, brawling. You know what I mean? Right now, we're doing the verbal stuff, but when he come back, it's not going to be no verbal. You done already had your last warning. You get what I'm saying? But the main thing is people got to know enough word to know what the Lord is telling them to do. And a lot of the church don't even know how to fight spiritually. And prophets are being attacked a lot because we expose the truth. We enlighten people. We enlighten pastors. We enlighten preachers and stuff like that. We enlighten the rest of the body of Christ. So we get attacked. If the enemy can get a prophetic person record, what is it? When people start looking at you different, their idea of you, if they can get the idea of you off to where people don't count you credible, he would do that. And many times we go through, and not to discredit any of the other texts, many people, if you can even understand what prophets are saying, you more than likely are prophetic yourself. Because it's a language that only we speak. You know what I'm saying? So if you even are able to understand it, you're prophetic. You know what I'm saying? But many people don't know that. They don't even know. My pastor was talking about that. He was like, the way that prophetic people are able to articulate things and stuff like that, it's really, they have their own language. But as he was saying that, I was like, that is so true. Because even there's some prophetic people that okay, with being prophetic, it's still hard for you to understand them fully. You get what I'm saying? As you be and you're prophetic too. You get what I'm saying? So you have a certain amount of information that you're able to understand from them. And that's because one thing is your how do you word this? It's a relationship with God. And not every relationship with God is the same. Okay? If that makes sense. So because my relationship is different than another prophet, the way that they're getting revelation, like there's people that look into Strong's Concordance a lot for numbers, but okay, my first child, because I was already talking about her, she passed away at 9:09 p.m. So as I started to transition into the prophetic scene, God was like, 9:09 means new beginnings or whatever for me. 9:09 means that old thing is passed away and new things are coming. So some people may just think that 9:09 means like strictly whatever is in Strong's Concordance, right? But certain numbers are not just only Strong's Concordance. It means something specific to you. When I see 219, I know that God is not telling me to look up a number, but he's saying something about my birth, right? Because it's my birthday. But if you have a religion with him, you just like, no, it means this and only this, and there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I mean? But oftentimes, if the enemy is trying to attack somebody, right, he is not going to attack little numbers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, say you're a leader and you have, I don't know, 30,000 people attached to you. He's going to want you to fall because the 30,000 are looking at you. He's not going to sit there and try to individually attack the 30,000. If he can get somebody like Joel Osteen to fall, if he can get somebody like that, like, you know what I mean? That would be a bigger impact. So the main thing is prophets have to go through some crazy type of stuff. And I had just released the other day too, like armor up before you take naps, armor up before you go to bed, armor up when you wake up. You literally have to armor up multiple times a day. Yeah, people do water down God too. But that's another thing too, like, okay, it just depends, because a babe, you don't want to overwhelm a babe. If somebody is new to the body of Christ and you're telling them like you have now enlisted in the army, okay? Because that's really what's going on, right? Christy Jesse will always say that, and it's so funny because yeah, you have now enlisted in a fight that you weren't even aware was really happening. All you knew was you was getting beat up, but you're literally essentially saying, hey, I'm a part of this thing now. So telling them all the negative things that are about to come is like kind of depressing, ain't it? Like, wow, I just wanted to serve God and everything. And a lot of people have a false sense of what it looks like to serve God. So that's another thing too. But the main thing is I don't want to be discouraging. Like, I want to be honest, but not discouraging to where you feel like you started, you enlisted in a war that you can't even win. Like, there's no way of you winning. So if somebody told you day one of you being born again that your finances are about to be attacked, your mental's about to be attacked, and in some cases, rare cases, you end up like Job, where you lose, your whole family, your kids, and all that, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, bro, the Bible does say go and preach the good news, but also he tells us to teach the doctrine. The doctrine is, it is what it is. Like so, like that, and there's nothing you can do about the doctrine. So
I have to take a bath.
you have to take a bath?
Yeah.
Let's go to bed.
Go back.
Yep.
Go.
I wish somebody would have told me. Somebody, you know what? They were creeping me out, because when the church that I got baptized at, they were like, oh, the devil finna attack you now. And that's all I remember from that. Like, why don't I remember more things than the devil's finna attack you? Like, that had me paranoid. I was spiritually paranoid. And then nobody teaches you how to fight. So this is the main thing, Andrew, to answer your question. Nobody knows how to fight to even teach how to fight. You get what I'm saying? If you're learning how to fight, you want like Muhammad Ali to teach you. You want Mike Tyson to teach you. You don't want just anybody teaching you how to fight. You want the people that actually wins their fights to teach you how to fight. And the main thing is, a lot of people in the church are not winning. They're fighting a good fight. They're just not winning. So, and it's like God, it's like, I don't know. I feel like God just like, just shut up. Just shut up and I'll look, I'll do it. Because there's nobody that can actually teach you how to fight for real, because everybody battle is different. Does that make sense? Like there, as a woman of God, I wouldn't be able to effectively, I can do a good job, but effectively teach a man of God how to war right, because I'm not in a position of a man of God. I don't know the totality of what it carries and what it holds. You know what I mean? I could effectively teach a woman of God, you know what I mean? But it be stuff like that. Like I'm limited when it comes to that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, pray like this and armor up and do that. But I don't know. I know the mantle that men carry are way heavier than the women. Okay? And I know that off of, we haven't, the order, you know, first God, then husband, then the wife. And also he literally said, he told the men to love their wives as he loved the church. That's an order that, like, worst case scenario, if something happened, you got to die behind this woman. He did not tell the woman that. He did not say die behind your husband. He did not. You know what I mean? He did not say, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I know that at the end of the day, that's a whole nother, that's heavy. That's very heavy. I wouldn't even wish that on nobody. Look, because not only did Jesus die behind us, like he was tortured. He literally was tortured, mocked, slapped, spit on, thorns in the head. Right. You got to go through the spiritual warfare to be wanting to learn. Yeah. Do you know how many times Incubus Succubus had dug in my butt? And I'm just going to be very honest, like had done stuff to me sexually until I learned. It took me like, I don't know, like a year or whatever to actually figure out on a consistent basis of them coming and getting into bed with me that I got to armor up even when I take a nap. I was like, dang, like you literally have to pray before going to sleep because of how they want to attack you. My main thing is too, Incubus Succubus, why would they come for me? Why would Incubus Succubus come for me? Because they can't get anybody to drain me. All right, I close all doors. There are not people that are connected to me that can drain me. So they sent these spirits to drain me. You know what I'm saying? If they can get me drained, I won't want to post. I'm not going to post no encouraging words. No kingdom spouse words are coming out. No revelation is going to be given to the people. You get what I'm saying? Then they can also get another tie to me spiritually to where then they can attack my marriage. They'll cause, because another thing is too, when you get attacked by Incubus Succubus, they make you orgasm. So you won't even want to have sex with your spouse if you're in a relationship. Then if you are in a stance, if you're literally standing, the urge to even want your spouse will be like gone. It'll be gone. You won't even have the urge like, you know, I was kind of looking forward to it because, you know, I've been celibate for X amount of years. And, you know, if this is going to be a constant thing, like once you get you one, honey, you won't need to get another one for a couple months if you're like me. But if you're not, then I don't know. But you get what I'm saying? Like they have benefits on going and sleeping with somebody like that. They do. And mind you, they were trying me in my dreams and I wasn't folding. So they were like, okay, let's just go in the physical now. This is our, and it's really, it was an act of desperation, if you ask me. It was an act of desperation. You guys are so weak that you guys have to literally, and the time that they got me most recently was during a nap. Why? Because in the morning, I'm armoring up. And at night, I'm armoring up. So if I get caught slipping during the day, as I said, even when I would nap, and God had been leading me on my naps to pray and armor up specifically. Specifically, he said, armor up before you go to sleep. So I caught on after a while. I said, wait, Lord, you got something going on, because I'm noticing Incubus and Succubus are not coming at me. And the most recent time, like I said, it was the woman one, which I think she's Succubus. So I said, this is not a man. This is not the same one. And many people don't even realize Incubus and Succubus was able to just use physical people against you and get in you that way. What's wrong with my phone? Why does it show you hanging from the side of the wall? So that's the thing. People be having, these spirit spouses were able to access you before when you were sleeping with other people. Moloch, Baal, Incubus, Succubus. This is the thing about spiritual warfare that don't nobody want to talk about. They get quiet. Because then if a leader exposes how the demons do, you're really exposing yourself. You get what I'm saying? There's a certain level that you have to expose about yourself. I went over the things that the characteristics of demons and stuff like that. And if you look at the characteristics of demon, you see that there are some people in your life that have the same characteristics, and it's because it was a demon in behind them. But then if you acknowledge that, then you have to acknowledge that you done made it with a demon before. Yeah, you did. And then if you look at all the characteristics put together that I went over, you notice that you done mess with Baal, you don't mess with Molech, you done mess with Jezebel and Leviathan and Incubus and Succubus. So it's like people don't want to, the level of demons that you already done made it with, it's too, when it gets real, people run. Realness makes people run. It's like, That's why I say people run from Jesus, because Jesus was the way, the truth. The truth hurts. It doesn't hurt when you want change, though. When you want change, you don't care about the truth. You're like, yeah, let me know. Let me know what else, Lord, so I can keep the door shut. Even certain things I talked about before when I was like 21 or something, when I was watching Paranormal Activity and the thing came through the TV and they tried to enter me. Yeah, I mean, that might be a little more obvious for some. That, oh, of course, if you watch something demonic, it can enter. But what if you watch something with sex in it? What can enter? What can enter? People talk about secular music and how spirits can come out of the secular music. Okay, what about people that operate in a religious spirit? And what is the name of it? Who is it? I think it's either Baal or Molech that's over it. That Antichrist spirit. Because somebody was like, not all worship music is for the Lord. Some of it be for yourself. It really does sometimes. But if you're connected with the Lord, you'll understand that. You reap what you sow. So when you pour into God, he pours into you. Some people don't understand. They don't understand how it works. Then you want more details than what you got. If you keep asking God for more details than what you got to be real. Like, Lord, am I being controlling? Am I trying to be God in my own life? Because if you are, you got to sit down somewhere. God had told me a while back, you keep trying to control the confirmations. Every single time you ask for a confirmation, you pick it? Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Like, dang, she won't even let me pick confirmations anymore. She want to pick all the confirmations, or he want to pick all the confirmations. I can't even say, I'll confirm it to you, because you're like, yeah, let me do this and let me do that. There's a time when he wants you to be specific, right? There's a time when he wants you to do that. But then there's also a time for you to let go. There's a season for it all. What the heck? How long the fire department been outside my thing? Why y'all didn't tell me y'all seen lights behind my head? But yeah, you got to just go with the season. What God is telling you to do yesterday may not be what he's telling you to do today. The Lord's telling me to chill yesterday. I chilled yesterday. Today, he's like, nah, you doing your hair, hon. I wouldn't even go do my hair till tomorrow. I was like, Lord, yeah, I can do my hair tomorrow. I have my own plans. A man plans his ways, but God directs his steps. He don't play all that. I'd have cleaned up today and I'd have been chilling. I might have even took my daughter to the park. And then he gave me a whole bunch of words last night before I went to sleep. And I was like, oh, Lord, I can't wait till in the morning to release it. He said, just because I gave it to you today doesn't mean you'll be releasing it tomorrow. And after going through the day that I went through today, which is prepare, you got what I'm saying? Now I see what he was talking about. But I really encourage you not to try to control your own life. Those who love their life will lose it. Those who hate their life will gain it. So if we keep running, how are we going to get deliverance? I don't know what you're trying to say. I'm like, I really struggle with Leviathan. I mean, if you know, the number one thing is when you know where the problem is, you can fix it. It's when you don't know. When people are so unaware of themselves, that to me is more dangerous. Many people are discouraged because they're aware of the problem. And they're like, wow, this is big. Nothing is too big for the Lord. Nothing is. Literally. We are literally in like, what's the name of it? Them little things that you shake up around Christmas. Them little scopes that you shake up. We are literally like in one of them, basically. The Bible talks about the shape of the earth and all that. We know if the earth is flat and round and all that. The earth is flat. The Bible literally talks about He made the land, and then he put a dome. That's what he said, a dome. He put a dome over it, piece of glass. And it makes sense with the rest of the Bible stories. When Nimrod had to use his army, and he said, we're going to curse God to his face. I said, Lord, why did he think that in the first place? What made Nimrod think that he could build a ladder or whatever you want to call it, a skyscraper, and curse you to your face? Well, if you go back to Genesis, you'll know why Nimrod thought that. Because Nimrod was aware that the earth was flat and that there was a dome. So he was going to go to the tip of the dome and try to curse God to his face. Now, the only thing that God did was confuse the language. Now y'all can't even understand yourselves. And that's one-on-one warfare. When the enemy is coming up against you, how about you use your mouth and you say, I confuse the language in Jesus Christ of Nazareth's name. You know what I'm saying? It just be stuff like that. Like, honey, yes, fermented. Yes, separated the waters. Come on now. But for real, spiritual warfare 101. Make sure that the ops, the devil, the demons that's working against you in groups can't even understand one another. That's one way to anger the enemy. But yeah. I don't even know what I was talking about. But you know the problem, so you can fix it. Snow globe. Yeah, we're basically in like a big old snow globe. That's like God is so big. God is literally so big. When he says he has us in his hands, he even got the ops in his hands. Like when people come against me, I'll be thinking that like, dang, if only they knew the Lord that I serve could literally end them. Ha! Literally, we're in his hands and nobody can get us out of his hands. It'd be stuff like that. If they knew him, they would not have done you like that. I'm telling you, man. My guy. If they knew that their life was in his hands, they would not have done you like that. I kid you not. God literally says the face of the earth spheres don't have a face. God literally put science and everything in the Bible. Everything that we have now on how we even started to build law and stuff like that came from God. If Moses would have never came from with the 10 Commandments, there wouldn't even be no felonies, no misdemeanors. You know what I mean? We're people that lack without God. We wouldn't have integrity. We wouldn't have morals. God is a moral God. He's a God with morals. So he had because there was a brother too, and I already knew why he did that. He did it to get he did it to draw the attention of people, to enlighten them. But he says without God, rape wouldn't even be rape, because honey, we are so this generation, right? These people, everybody on the earth are literally so evil to where that wouldn't even be something that was fawned upon. That would have been something that was normalized. If God would have never said, like, you know, do not do this and that and that, honey, everybody will be doing it. Everybody will be doing it. Killing was okay. Killing was okay back in the day. If somebody did something to your family, they were literally able to go collect in blood. Literally. Now you got to wait for the law. Where to back in the day, you didn't. The law was go collect in blood. Hunt him down. So, it says the face of earth. Yeah, it just is. Then doesn't it talk about, like, I don't know. I feel like there's a scripture that I read that talked about like God seeing his reflection in the earth. But I'm like, well, you could literally see your reflection inside of water. Anyways. Some oranges?
Yeah.
We don't have none, baby. I'm trying to scoot this piece of hair off. That's a lemon. She's literally pointing at the lemon. That's a lemon, baby. That's not an orange. Not only that, the sun and the moon are close than they say, and the size of Earth is huge than what they'll tell us. The CIA literally has on their website the things that they do. They test run it to see if people will believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? So they get some of the best, what is it, analysts and all that to see like, baby, no. The answer is no. This is not going to get you full. This is not going to do anything for your body. Do you understand? This is not going to do anything for your body at all. The answer is no. This is not an orange. This is a lemon. Go in the refrigerator to get you some grapes. Okay, no, don't go get nothing. Don't go get nothing. Don't even worry about it. I'm not going to force you to eat. You literally got a hamburger that's sitting at the table looking at me from all the way over here. That's diabolical. It said hi. Did you hear it? No, but I was going to say too, when it comes to, there was this dude that I was dealing with before I started walking with the Lord for real. And he said that they are going to do like projections. They're going to project into the sky. There's going to be a fight or whatever going on. And it's on the CIA website. But I don't know. Allegedly, they're going to do this. I don't even know. I don't be paying attention to nothing that the CIA be doing. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that if you would just go and read, you'll see. So. What does it say? Not only the sun and the moon. And that's the thing too. It just makes me want to throw up that people even worship like the sun and the moon. Like the Bible literally says like if we don't praise, if we don't cry out, the rocks will. Excuse me, the rocks. The rocks. The rocks. It's like more, it's easy, and I'm not saying that it's not true, but it's easier to believe that the plants will cry out, but the Bible literally says the rocks. So we know if the rocks cry out, then the moon does, and the sun does. You know what I mean? Like these things cry out to the Lord. Yeah, everything is accessible. That's the thing though, like somebody has said the devil will put out apples, right? And I'm trying to remember this to my best ability. They'll put out like free apples. And then people being greedy may go and get like 5 of these apples, right? 4 or 5 of these apples, a whole bunch of apples. Now, the only thing is they don't say that it's poisonous apples, it's just free apples. You get what I'm saying? And then people go and they get a whole bunch of the apples and they take them home or they eat them or whatever. But that's how the devil is. Like, people do not read. They don't ask questions. Maybe if you sat there at the table to see what type of apples they were, you would have found out more. But you were just so quick to get something free. So some people are lazy. They don't want to work for something. You get what I'm saying? And now you're suffering because of it. I was like, that's just crazy because that is so true. Like the enemy will give you something for free. They got poison in it. All the time got poison in the tank. I'm about to get off alive though and feed this baby. The fact that she asked for this hamburger though, she literally asked for this hamburger. After this braid, I'm gonna get off here. My people perish for a lack of knowledge, literally. The book of Enoch talked about a whole bunch of stuff too. And like I said, the book of Enoch was removed because majority vote rules. Right? It's not that anything was invalid or anything like that. Just majority had ruled that they felt like it should have been better left out. Just for a history lesson. But Enoch talked about there being 364 days in a year. I don't know why they added the 365. That's why we have leap years every 4 years, because people get to add and stuff. I forgot how many months it was. I forget how many months it was. I want to say 13. It might not have been that much. I think it was 13 months. And it talked about the women. There was women angels that fell or whatever. They taught astrology and horoscopes and stuff like that. And then other angels, one of them, their name was Michael. But the Michael and another angel went in the women, and they produced children with these women. But the Book of Enoch is literally on YouTube. It's not something you have to pay for. It's literally on YouTube. But it goes into exactly a lot of details, and you'll figure out that the Book of Enoch got like, and it's talked about the angels too. Some had taught how to make knives and stuff like that. So if you do your research, you'll learn that the things that are around us are because we learned it from heaven. We learned it from heaven. That's heavenly wisdom bestowed upon earthly people. Oh. So, but a lot of people operate in earthly wisdom and not heavenly wisdom. So whatever scientists say, Big Bang theories and all that. Before there was words and all that. That's why people talking about Yahweh is the real name, is Yahweh. I'm like, if you want to be technical, what was God's name before there was any words? God was the first one to speak if you want to be technical. And there was no A-E-I-O-U, and like English came out, what, 400 years ago, 500 years ago now? You get what I'm saying? So like, there was no vowels. There was nothing. We put vowels into the play. And even English, what is it called when you write a word? It's spelling. Spell. Come on. You get what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that. Like you gotta be so honest with yourself that, okay, if English wasn't, incorporated till a few hundred years ago, what was here before that? Okay, Greek, Hebrew. Okay. What was here before that? Breathing. Yahweh literally means inhale, exhale. That's the noise you make when you inhale and exhale. So the Bible talks about every knee shall bow. No, not that one. Sorry. Everything that has breath, praise the Lord, right? That one. Thank you, Lord. Sorry, y'all. I'm over here moving too fast. But if you're breathing, you're praising the Lord. Whether you want to or not, you're praising the Lord. Whether you think you're doing it or not, you're praising the Lord. If you got breath, you know what I mean? It just be stuff like that. But I don't be trying to go that deep. Look, I don't be trying to go that deep on people. Because I don't want people to think it's some conspiracy stuff. Now, I'm going off of facts. That's like when people try to argue with you. How do you know Jesus really came here? Because how do we know? Honey, how do we know that anybody else was here before Jesus? And you're not even arguing that. Because they wrote it. Okay? Birth certificates was written. You get what I'm saying? She just put this all on my couch. Like, honey. But yeah, like, we going to believe that a scientist talking about a Big Bang theory. Like, come on now. Science is literally the definition of leaning onto your own understanding. They literally got information and they're like, okay, if I look at this, I think that. And they come up with a whole bunch of different theories, essentially. And then whatever most people, I guess, sign off on, I don't know, is what they choose. But it's just like you're leaning onto your own understanding to even get the science portion of it to be fulfilled. And then half the stuff that we have is man-made. So like you think you eating healthy, you're not. What they say, grapefruit was a cross. What's the name of it? When you can, what is it? What is it when you can make something? Fruit and stuff. Anyways, it's an orange and a lemon put together, grapefruit. Broccoli is man-made vegetable. Let's can we get into it? It's so much stuff that's man-made. If it, stop. If we don't have seeds, you know what I'm saying? If it ain't got seeds, then it's 100% not real. But they're even making stuff to where it has seeds nowadays. Like, but for sure, everything that doesn't have a seed. It ain't from Jesus, baby. Anyways, this baby just made a mess to get my attention, and she got it. But anyways, See y'all later.